Good morning, party people. Let me make sure I'm in the center. Hi, guys. Happy Monday. Happy May. I love it when this happens. Is May not like the best month, though? Okay, no, they're all the best. I always say that, don't I? No, but like, come on. April showers bring May flowers. It's so timely here on the East Coast. We have been pummeled with like buckets of water from the sky over the last several days. And today is like gorgeous. There's pink trees everywhere. Those that are already green are green. The sky is blue. Oh my God. It's finally above, 45 degrees. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Hi, guys. Well, come on in. As you come in, say hi. Good morning. Good morning. All right, guys. So I'm going to get started here. I'm doing our angel card reading up first, as I do. Hi, guys. Hey, Lily. What's up, lady? Holla. Hola, amiga. All right, so I'm pulling an angel card. We ready? Good morning, love. All right, let's see what happens here. I got a twofer. I don't know what to do when that happens. I guess the angels want to power pack us today. I have pulled the first one before with you guys, but I kind of like it. So interesting. I had a couple of calls on Friday with women who were like, I need to work with you. I was like, please work with me. I love this. You're in the right place, because they were like, what is my life's purpose? Can you see that? Don't focus on my face camera. There you go. Can you see that? Life's purpose. We have an amazing, brilliant man there. As you guys come and say hi, so I can say hello to you. All right. So we have the purpose of your life is to serve in a way that brings great joy to yourself and to others. Yes. Right. This is always the question I get is like, I sort of enjoy my job, but it doesn't do anything. Or I get paid really well, but I'm not that happy. Or I liked my business when I started, but now I have to do a whole bunch of stuff I don't really care about and my mission's not aligned. This is such a big one. Don't worry about finding your purpose. Instead, focus on serving a purpose, and then your purpose will serve you. I love that. Okay, so that's this one. And I don't know if you see the dude is writing. You see that? He's writing. He's wise. Of course, right? Very wise. And then this one, you guys, I can't believe I pulled a twofer, and it's purple and gold, which I think means something. Those of you that are actually in this world know more than me on that. So this one, she's literally saying shush. That's not for me, right? No, here, shush. I love that. Look at that angel. Oh, come on, focus. There it is. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay. So it says, listen, quiet your mind, beloved one, and listen to our gentle reassurance that everything has been taken care of. Stay in a quiet and receptive state without worrying about the exact nature of your desire's manifestation. A quiet mind and body hears us quickly and clearly. This is our request to you. Listen. Well, okay. Happy May. We have a life's purpose. Don't worry about your life's purpose. Serve a purpose. I love that. And then listen. Listen. What is that? Is that a Saturday Night Live skit? Listen. All right. So today, as promised, I'm looking at my notes here. What we're going to talk about today, you guys, is first and foremost, how to get more of what you want. So there's so many people in this world, or people I end up with on the phone, right? They're like, Sarah Walton, help me, save me. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Right. I'm like, well, I can't save you. Only you can do that. Like, let's start there. But also, it's going to be up to each one of us to get crystal clear on what it is we actually want. So for some people, when they say they want a purpose, right, or they want like this big life goal, underneath that is actually this, oh, God forgive me, but like that fake celebrity thing. Do you know what I'm talking about? The fake like Instagram celebrity thing that's going on, right? That's actually what they want, is like, I want that many followers, or I want that many likes, or I want that much attention. And I think what happens when we're in that kind of mindset is we mistake noise for connection. So I just want to put that out there, because I think this is going on a lot. And in Coffee with Coach, my goal has always been to talk to you guys about what's actually happening. And what I see actually happening is people are mistaking noise for connection. And keep in mind, please, 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 that connection is actually a human need. It is not a nice to have, it's a need. We must feel connected. You guys have seen this, right? You've seen this out there in the world. What happens to humans when they don't feel connected? They go a little crazy. And I say that in like the most gentle way possible. I don't mean that as a judgment. We need it. So we can watch that happen, right? When people think people don't like them, right? Or they don't feel connected or they feel ostracized from a group, they start to do really, let me say this, things that are not in their best interest. Let me say that, right? Instead of calling it crazy, but we do kooky things, right? We start getting a little wonky. We start like maybe stealing stuff, or we start maybe talking badly about other people, or we start, you know what I mean? Anything to feel that sense of connection. So here's what I'd like to do. If this is you, I don't know why I'm starting with this one, but you're welcome. So if this is you, if connection is the thing that you are craving, right? If you're kind of sitting back, you're watching today and you're like, oh my God, she's right. I don't feel connected. This could be connected to family, connected to friends, connected to your romantic relationship, connected to your children, connected to colleagues, connected to your team, right? So this is really critical for us to be successful and to live a life of abundance, which you know is incredibly important to me, for all of you and me, right? For all of us, is you have to feel connected. So if you are that person, if you're like, oh my God, she did it again. She's in my head. I'm sorry. I do that sometimes. Here's what I want you to know is you can create it in 2 seconds. You ready? Hey, Alex. Good morning. Good morning. As you guys come in, make sure you say hi so I can say hi to you. All right. So if this is you, here's what I'd like you to practice today. Okay. You ready? If this is you, I want you in the next interaction you have, I don't care if it's a drive-through, I don't care if you're getting your dry cleaning, I don't care if it's someone walks into your office, I don't care if it's the next person who texts you. I want you to think of something you genuinely appreciate about that person and tell them. That's it. No, seriously, it's free, it's instant, and I want you to do that. Why? Because you will immediately feel more connected, like that. It's unbelievable. And so, like, let's say the grocery store, right? I do that a lot. I don't know why I always talk about the grocery store. Probably because I go 85 times a week, roughly. Anyway, so the grocery store, right? You go in there. Is there someone who is being really funny? Is there someone who's always super helpful? Is there someone who's cleaning up? Is the person who's checking you out like super efficient and fast? Or are they chatty and they make everyone feel comfortable, right? Pick a thing, and it can't be fake, right? You can't like do a nice fake thing, because then that's gross and you'll end up sliming the person. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about genuine, authentic, like appreciation for who a person is. I want you to say it out loud. So that's one thing for today. If you are not feeling connected, that's one thing I want you to do. Oh my gosh. And I promised you guys something, and I'm just a big slacker. I'm so sorry. I'm not a slacker. I'm doing 85 things at once. It's so fun being your own audio visual person. You guys, if you want to come to the Your Abundance Breakthrough Workshop today at 11 o'clock, yes, right after coffee with Coach, you go get like your breakfast, get some coffee, answer a couple emails, and jump right back in with us. If you want to register for that and you have not, there it is. I promised you guys that, and then I didn't put it in the chat just like I promised. But now I've fulfilled my promise. You see how this goes? All right. So if you want more connection, you now have your answer. Now, if you are aching for connection with a specific person, so this happens a lot with spouses, like you can feel like, oh my God, like I used to joke around all the time, like, hi, I'm your wife, right? Like there's this thing that happens with life taking over, right? So if you're feeling that you are aching for that connection, you now know what to do. Right now, send a text. Right now, leave a voice message. Do something immediately right now. I so appreciated last night when you did X. I so appreciated this morning when you did this. Immediately, you will feel more connected. Okay? Keeping in mind, this is a human need. I'm realizing I sound like I have a cold. I do not have a cold. I'm so sorry. I always love to tell you guys the truth. I got home at around 1:30 a.m. from my daughter's dance competition. And when I don't sleep, my nose sounds stuffy. I know it's something I could never hide from my college professors. Don't tell. All right. So if you're hearing that, I'm fine. I'm not sick, but I just heard it. And I want you guys to be like, are you sick again? I'm not sick. Okay. Now, let's say you are aching for that feeling of success. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like you feel like I was talking to my son about this today. He's in his junior year in high school. And you know, it's those times there's just so much to do. There's so much to manage, and they're all manageable. It's all doable, right? It's like none of it's actually hard, just like running a business. There's not one specific task that's hard, right? Except, well, maybe some challenging conversations, but even then they're usually done in 2-3 minutes, right? So nothing is so insurmountable that we can't do it. But when it feels like there's a lot of them, it starts to kind of feel overwhelming. And then it really does occur as hard. and you're like, I just want to feel successful, right? You're starting to feel that pile on happening, right? And this is such a normal part of our human experience together and separate. Like we all feel this way at some point, right? Like, holy crap, there's so much to do. I can't possibly get it all done. Right. So that feeling, maybe it's that feeling of, I just want success. I just want to know I'm actually accomplished. All right. So the number one thing you can do here, all of this sounds funny, but you're going to notice the theme. I want you to acknowledge someone that you admire. That's it. You want to feel more successful. You want to feel like you're not a procrastinator. You want to feel like you've got it handled. Acknowledge someone who has those qualities. I swear to gosh, heavens, whatever, this works. I promise you. And it takes 2 minutes and you'll make someone's day and it's free. You're welcome. Right. So like what I want you to do is actually think of that person right now. And the great news is, even if you're not feeling this way right now today, you will. Like, can we just be honest about that? At some point, probably within this week or the month of May, you will feel this way. So if you can think of that person or persons now, like maybe there's 2 or 3 people you really admire. And yes, this can be someone you don't know. This can be someone whose book you read. This could be someone that you watch on YouTube. This could be someone who's a celebrity. It doesn't matter. They like getting nice comments as well, or their staff does. It doesn't matter. It's worth it. Write down those names right now with me today. Go ahead. You're welcome. Go ahead. You can go ahead and write them down now. Yeah. All right. Awesome sauce. Okay. Now that you have those 2 or 3 names, I want you to keep that handy. Okay. Keep it handy for you because this will come up. And what I want you to do is just right now, really quickly, just so you have it, because when you start to feel frantic or panicked or like you're under this sea of overwhelm or you're not successful, you're procrastinating, it's harder to think in those moments. So let's get this ready now. So you have your 2 or 3 people. I want you to write down 2 or 3 things that you admire about each one of them. Okay, you go ahead and do that right now. 2 or 3 things you admire. I love the way that you always show up. I love the way that you write. I was so grateful that you shared your story about XYZ. I love how you talk about your family. I love how appreciative you are for everything that you have, and that I'm thinking of Oprah right now. Sorry, and that you teach all of us how to be grateful for what we have. Total side note: the story there that I just love when I met her, March 10th, 2020. The story that she told about being a little girl, totally abandoned, too dark to stay in the house. So, her grandmother made her stay on the porch where wild animals scared the crap out of her all night, right? Anyway, so none of us have excuses ever. Side note. So she would talk about how as a little girl, how much she loved trees. And that she would just have this dream that when she was older, she wanted to own property with some couple trees on it. Couple, right? And she said that I think it was her Hawaii home where she said there are so many trees on my property now I can't even count. And she like welled up, right? That level of appreciation for where we've come from and what we've accomplished. I love how she shares that. But she always talks about that. It's never like, well, now I've made it, so y'all better catch up. That's never ever the attitude. It's like, listen, it started here. And over the years, this is what's been possible. This is how I've created this. So that's something I would appreciate about her. And probably I would send that email the next time I'm feeling like I need to feel more successful. That's exactly what I would do. So you guys noticing a theme yet? For anything you want, what do? I'll start to talk about that more. All right, let's talk about time. Let's say you feel like you have no time. It's sort of similar to feeling like you're not successful or you're procrastinating. But this one has a little bit of a different twist to it. So let's say you're feeling like, I do this usually between 4 and 6 p.m. every day for me in the way my life is scheduled. Those are the 2 hours in the day I start to kind of feel like there's not enough time. It's not real, but that's how it can start to occur. That's kind of what I mean. Or let's say you have a goal that by the end of May, because we love May, yay for recharge, refresh, we love May, right? So by the end of May, you would like to accomplish XYZ, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, the time. I don't know if I have enough time to get this done. So I did this with you guys a couple months ago. I think it was February where we sat still. Might have been March, but we sat still for a while, right? And I made you count the seconds. You guys were like, I hate you, I love you, I hate you, right? So we know time is actually something we can manipulate, right? And it's usually based on our emotional state. So in those hours between 4 and 6, when I find myself getting panicked about time, that's actually where I can start to say, okay, what emotion is running time right now? And it's usually the emotion of stress, right? And it's that feeling of like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get everything done that I need to get done. This person needs attention. Insert children here, right? So these people in my home, whom I love and adore, need attention, right? Dinner's got to get made. I have client notes to write up. And then there's preparing for tomorrow, and all of that needs to happen, right? So there's a couple things I can space things out a little bit better, sure. But the biggest thing is I can come at this with a different attitude. And here's the deal. If you feel like you don't have enough time, give it. Counterintuitive, I know. But what happens is if you stop, remember when I stopped you guys and made you hold still for 25 seconds, right? So if you stop and you sit down, you go, whew, what happens? All of a sudden, there's like a massive abundance of time. And when you give that time to someone else, right? So I give that time and attention in those frenetic moments to my kids. I just sit down, how was your day? What happened? What was the best thing? What was the most challenging thing? What did you learn? What did you love? Do you want me to go away and not talk to you anymore? Right? But when I'm actually with them and we do this, what experience do I have? I have an abundance of time. Right? You guys can see this. And I'm using myself so you know this is like a real thing. This is just what people do during the day. It can absolutely transform everything for you. If you feel like you don't have enough time, give it. Watch what happens. It's extraordinary. And I know it seems counterintuitive. And obviously, if you're up against a deadline, like you said, you would get something to someone by 5 p.m. and it's 4:15 and you're feeling a little frantic, what you can do is in that moment, send a text message to someone you admire and say, I just want to let you know, I really appreciate what you did yesterday. That's it. That text will maybe cost you 25 seconds tops, right? Remember how long 25 seconds was, right? That's it. That's all that's going to cost you right there. And then you're going to go back into that task with a fresh head and a sense of calm and a sense of focus that you didn't have before you sent the text. It's profound. It's amazing. Well, hi. Hi, Princeton. So yes, it does give us the opportunity to listen. That's absolutely right when we hold still. And it is your birthday month, Lily. I'm sorry I didn't acknowledge that. It absolutely is. It's one of my favorite times. We always get to celebrate Lily's birthday. Okay, so that's time. Now, I know what you guys are really going to want to talk about, right? I know. You're like, where's the green stuff, Sarah Walton? When are we going to start talking about money, Sarah Walton? When is this going to happen? Come on. What if I want more money? I feel you. Okay. If you want more money, give it. Have you noticed the theme yet? Whatever it is you want in your life, give it. Now, I'm not saying bankrupt yourself, sell your house, and give it all to charity. That's not what I mean. But think about where you can be more generous. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a financial giving. But this is why I'm slowing you down and having you acknowledge the people around you, because that generosity gives you the experience of having a generous life, not a stingy, scarce one, right? And you might go, yes, but Sarah, I know we've done this before, you guys, right? You scream and yell like, but Sarah, I have bills to pay, have that. No, that's all real. I know, but set that aside for just a sec. We are going to address that. Set that aside over here. But when you are being generous, you are being generous with time. You're being generous with acknowledgement. You might be being generous financially, right? Like maybe you write someone a card. Not hard to do, right? Not going to break the bank, but it might make someone else's day. I have someone who may or may not be here live with us right now. Actually, I was going through a really tough time, and this person sent me a cup of coffee, like DoorDashed me a cup of coffee. Can I tell you what that meant? Didn't break the bank. It was everything. Right? This is what I'm talking about when I'm saying when you're feeling like life is stagnant and scarce and tight for you, this is when you start getting generous, because what you're doing is you're introducing generosity into your world. You're introducing the experience of expansion into your world in real life. And then what do you think happens when you go to make your next business move? What do you think starts to happen when you go to pay your bills? All of a sudden, you are starting to see different ways that you can look at money. You're starting to see different ways in which you can pay your bill, and you're starting to see different ways in which you can contribute to make more money. But you can't do that from that place of scarcity. And we've talked about that before, but you guys, you have to understand the way that you approach your life dictates your results. It just does, right? I'm going to say this again. Let's say I give you the best business strategies on the planet. We're talking like those that I've spent $25,000 to learn for 6 weeks, right? Like crazy stuff that I've done to learn all these amazing strategies, and they're wonderful and they're incredible. And I love teaching them to you too. But how effective are they going to be if you're like, this stupid shit never works? I don't even know what I'm doing, right? How effective is that strategy going to be? I don't care what strategy it is. If someone, and God knows we're seeing this all over the place, right? If someone's like, reach out to people in DMs everywhere you go all day long, like, and you're doing that with, I fucking hate my life. Oh, I said the F word. Sorry, everyone. But you're like, I hate my life. Blah, blah, blah. Hi, it's so nice to talk to you. Do you think that's going to be effective? It doesn't matter what the outward strategy is if the internal world doesn't match it. It just doesn't. It's like the roots of the trees will always dictate the quality of the fruit. True or true, right? Like if you plant a tree in really crappy soil, like it's all invisible, we can't see it. But if you don't nurture the roots of the tree, and then you yell at the leaves because there's no fruit, which is basically what we're doing. The strategy. What's going on internally? Because if what's happening in the invisible world doesn't match what you want to manifest as results, it will not work. And you guys, this is common sense. If you really think about it, some people are like, oh, it's so woo woo. It's all about the secret. So like, it isn't, you guys, it isn't really. It's kind of like, math. You have to take care of your invisible world in order to manifest different things in the visible world. You have to. They have to match. And if they don't, they will fight to match. And we see this all the time. The people who are freaking out about money, they actually live in a scarcity mindset. What do they end up manifesting? Fights, bankruptcies, some people arrests, right? Like what starts to happen when you actually live in scarcity, but you pretend you want to be wealthy? It doesn't work. It might work for a little bit, but eventually you'll ruin it because what's happening in the invisible world will win. It will win every time. And by the way, if you want to do a deep dive on this with me for yourself, like really dive in, that's at 11 o'clock today. And that workshop is free, you guys. So if you want to click that link and register, I would highly advise you do that because we are going to actually do an exercise for you. And for everybody who's on time, we're giving away my personal abundance journal prompts. So you can actually you have to be on time. Yeah. So come work with me. If you don't think this is real, if you don't think that what's going on in your internal world doesn't matter, you're like, whatever, it's fine. I can have really crappy thoughts about myself and still be uber successful. Maybe for a little bit. Maybe you can force some results, but you're going to burn out. How many people know what I'm talking about, right? You're going to burn out. It's that feeling of pushing water uphill, right? It does not feel good. It makes you feel anxious. You're probably going to lose sleep. A lot of people get sick. Like it doesn't feel good. And it's fleeting. You might hit it once or twice, but to do that consistently over the long term, it takes an internal transformation. It takes an internal shifting of your beliefs. And I'm telling you today, you can get anything you want for your life by giving it first. It will absolutely alter your experience of being alive. And you guys, here's the thing you got to understand about all this mindset stuff that I spend so much time on with you guys, because I believe it's 80% mindset, 20% strategy, right? So all this work that we do, it's to change your experience of being alive. And all of it is based in science. I promise. All of it's based in science and psychology of what the human experience must incorporate in order to feel alive. Because we're not like the animals, much as I love them, right? Imperfect vegan over here, right? As much as I love the animals, we have this gorgeous ability to communicate, to create, and to imagine. And that is solely a human trait. There is no other species on this planet who has that ability to consciously, through the prefrontal cortex, create something new. You have that ability. But what happens is you start to believe that your life is just this way. And you believe it and you believe it and you believe it and you believe it. And then you start to create it. And then you go, see, I told you. And then you do it again. But I want abundance, but you keep doing the same things without changing your course of action. And that's why it never changes. So today I am giving you things you can do that are free, things you can do that are instant, things you can do that are so expansive and powerful for you on the daily to start to incorporate this feeling of expansion and abundance in your own life. It is so profound and powerful that I actually think the simplicity of it is what most people miss, right? But once you start living this way, once you start understanding that being like this in your world for other people and for yourself, you start giving other people permission to do this too. And I've really seen this. The people I'm working on with Abundance directly inside the Abundance Academy, we've really gone deep on a lot of this, and I'm starting to see it happen in different areas because I box with them every day, right? It's starting to happen where I'm watching it like, oh my God, certain friends are falling away. The ones that were super stingy or held you down, they start to kind of disappear. New business opportunities start to come in out of the blue, right? That's my favorite. This one's out of the blue. And then they put like 95 laughing faces. They're like, out of the blue, my rear end, right? Like, it's like you just kind of watch this happen. And what happens is everybody in your environment starts to play this game with you without even realizing it. And because you're the person listening or watching today, you're the one I have access to, right? I always say that. You're welcome. Aren't you glad you showed up, right? But you're the one who can change this for everyone in your own life. No one else can but you, right? Now, what you can do is you can bring more people to Coffee with Coach with you. You'd be like to your friends, be like, dude, jump on this with me. And if you just heard yourself say, no, I want this just for myself, that might be something you want to examine. And I don't know who said that, but I swear to God, I just heard someone think that. I just work here. Anyway, yeah. So, but you just might want to examine that. Like, whoa, are these beliefs only for you? Or do you think other people can actually benefit and expand from them as well? That's sort of something to examine, isn't it? It's so interesting. I know I've had that feeling. I know other people have like admitted to me, they're like, no, I kind of want to keep you to myself. But it's like, what happens if we do that? Right? You will have transformed and so much of your life will start to change. And then you go internally, right? And then you go back into your life with all the same circumstances and all the same people who still have the same beliefs. And what do you think happens to you? Right? Your life doesn't match. Right? We'll be talking about that today at 11 as well, and what you can do about that. Like, what do you do with that? Yeah. Well, you open your mouth, but also you want to start looking at which actions you need to start taking in order to move your life towards everything that you say you really want. Like, if you clicked on this today because you're like, oh, she's talking about what I really want. What do I really want? And that can be part of like the first steps you start to take as you look at like, how do I start creating a life where there is more of this for me? You need to know what this is. Now, I hit the big ones today, right? Because most people are freaked out about time. They're freaked out about connecting, right? Because when we're ostracized or isolated, we don't do well. We really need each other. That's like a biological thing. And money, right? So I kind of hit the big ones today. And if you want it, give it. The end. Literally, it's that simple. Okay, so I want you to start there today. Step 2 is I really want you to join us for the workshop. If you're not already signed up, I don't know what you're doing. Get your butt in that class. We are going to have so much fun today. Dude, you guys, I play music. I might dance a little bit here and there. If you've never heard my originating story and why I go live the first Monday of every month, get your butt in that class. We're going to talk about that. And I will walk you through the exact exercises I did to make 2022 the most successful financial year the business has ever had, when it was the toughest personal year I have ever experienced on planet Earth. And I have been through some stuff, but last year it was just hit after hit after hit after hit. So how was it I was able to live my life through that and still really grow the business the way that we did? And I'm going to tell you exactly what I did at 11 o'clock if you want to come join us. Okay. The link is in the chat. If you need me to put it in again, let me know. All right. So did you guys have any coaching or any questions about this so far today? Anything I can do for you today? You guys know how much I love you, and I mean it. If you have a question, ask. If not, forever hold your peas, as my mother used to say. Yeah? All right, you guys, then I'm going to let you go. Happy May. Make this the most abundant month you've ever had. Can you play that game with yourself? Go out there and give what you want to have and watch your life start to change. Yeah. All right, you guys, I will see you the first Monday of June. Get out there and kick some assets. All right, guys. Bye.